Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about Quad Box for July 2019. I know it's August, it was late, whatever. Want to see what's inside? Stick around. Alright guys, I have my July box in my hand now, and I know it is August, and apparently there was some sort of mix-up, some sort of confusion, and my box just got really delayed, and unfortunately, I seem to be having a lot of bad luck because my quad boxes seem to be always the ones that are delayed or take forever to get to me. And full disclosure, I'm a subscriber just like you guys. I pay for it with my own credit card, and I get my boxes just the same. So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring you all in close. We'll open this up, give you my genuine reactions to what we find inside, and then we'll do a little bit of a cost analysis and see is it really worth what you paid for it and all that fun jazz. But before we get started with that, slam that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. Makes finding my videos a whole lot easier, helps support the channel, and it keeps you in the know when I post videos like this one. All right, so why don't you come in close and we'll crack this open. All right, we have our quad box. It is ready to be opened, and I am ready to do the opening. Got my X-Acto blade. Let's cut this bad boy open and see what we have inside. All right, I didn't do my little pre-open. Okay, here we go. All right. You ready? Here we go. Now, I'm going to get rid of that paper right away because I don't want any spoils ruined. And interesting, the shirt is on the top, and it looks like to be a quad box shirt. So since it's on top, unusually, let's take a look at the shirt. No peeking in that box since I can't see it. Yeah, it's just a straight up quad box shirt. Nothing fancy to be seen here, folks. Just quad box, but still a very cool shirt and dark colors. Love the dark colors. So we got a shirt. We have some stickers. Some cool stuff there. We have some props here. Oh, now we got... I'm noticing this little trend here. We had those Propsicle. Now we have the Airheads. Basically playing off of the Airheads candy. They are different size props, and we'll talk about, and this one's a 4-propper by 4. Interesting. All right, we'll talk about those in a little bit. What else we got here? We got 2 other things here. Let's go for this guy. We have, what is this? Oh, it's an antenna. It's a Menace right-hand circular polarized 5.8 gigahertz patch antenna. As you can see it right there in all its glory. Great for your goggles, little patch antenna, giving you a little bit more of instead of a omnidirectional, more of a directional angle. Pretty cool stuff. And we have run cam. What do we got here? Here we go. Ooh, we got the run cam Phoenix. All right, so it's the Run Cam Phoenix camera. Runs on 5 volt to 36 volt. It's got a 2.5 millimeter lens, and it's the Oscar edition. Nifty, nifty. So to recap what we got in this box, we got the camera, we got the Menace antenna, we got 3 sets of Airhead props, we got the little sticker sheet, and we have the t-shirt. Let's run some numbers and see what this looks like. All right, guys, I know you want those numbers. I'm going to tell you, there's some pretty good value in this box. Not stellar, not amazing, not blow it out of the park style, but definitely some pretty good value. And here they are. So let's go through these line by line and we'll talk about them. So first up is going to be these props. Now, I'm actually kind of intrigued that it's been a while since I've flown a 4-bladed 5-inch prop. So that'll be pretty cool. You'll see, as you see in the numbers there, the pitch is a little bit lower because you have a 4th blade in there. It'll be kind of cool to see how that handles and everything. However, as I mentioned in the previous quad box, you can check the link up in the corner there, if you missed out on it, where we received these Propsicle props. I happen to have them handy. And it's the same kind of concept where it's, it's clever, it's kooky, kind of like fun in summertime and candy and everything. But the problem with having 3 different styles of props included, the advantage is that you get to try 3 entirely different things. Different pitches, different number of blades, definitely a cool thing. But the double-edged sword to that is, if these were all the same and I'm flying it and I crash and I break my clockwise prop, well, that's easy. I just open one of the other 2 packs, take a clockwise prop out, put it back on, and I'm flying again. And I can keep going through that, using them up as they break or crack or whatever. When you get 3 different styles, it's a little different, because let's say I throw this 4-bladed prop on, okay, and I'm flying, I'm loving it or whatever, and then I crash and I break one. What do? I take the other 3 off and they become garbage essentially, because I don't have replacements for those unless I plan to go out and buy more of this exact prop. So then I have to try these purple ones, and let's say I crash and I break a prop. Well, now I have to take the other 3 off and throw them away, and then I can try these blue ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool that you get to try a lot of things all at once, but at the other hand, it gets a little wasteful unless you already have some of these props laying around or you intend to purchase them to kind of supplement your inventory, if you will. So it's cool nonetheless, and I do think it's really clever, and I actually do really enjoy Airheads the candy, so it's kind of cool having a prop in their namesake. All right, so moving on down the line, we then have the Menace Invader patch antenna. This is definitely a cool thing. I haven't personally used the Menace patch antenna, but I've heard some pretty good things about it. For a directional antenna, typically what I'm running is an X-Air patch antenna style like this one, or sometimes I'll get all funky and crazy. I'll use my circular wireless helical one. Looks like a big horn, a unicorn thing sticking out if I want to get some really deep penetration. So I haven't quite used the Menace antenna yet, but I've heard some pretty good things about it, and the differences is pretty much it's a little bit wider of a beam strength and a little less gain. What does that all mean? Well, to not get too deep in how antennas work, you pretty much have a fixed amount of stuff, let's just call it. And the further you send it, the narrower it has to be, because you're like focusing it like a flashlight. You have light. The more you focus, the brighter and more penetration you'll get. And if you open up that beam width and you make it wider, it's going to get dimmer or less powerful, so you won't have that range. And that's kind of how an antenna works. So the Menace antenna has a wider beam width. So like I said, I don't want to get too into how antennas work, but essentially the X-Air antenna is a little bit more powerful but narrower band. So if I fly too far left or too far right from the direction I'm looking, it'll kind of lose it. With the Menace, you have a little bit wider field of view, but I don't have as much depth. And it really depends on where you're flying, and what type of flying you're going to do will depend on what kind of antenna you throw onto here. And it's great to have a selection, because sometimes you're going to be flying where you're just going a lot of forward and back. You're not going very left and right. So then you want something really strong and narrow. Other times you might find yourself in a field where you're like at a football field and you're at the 50-yard line and you got the whole field left and right. Well, then you would want something pretty broad spectrum, because you're not going very deep, but you're going far left and right. So then that's where this antenna would come into play. So it's great to have it, because I don't have a wider beamed patch antenna. I have just the other circular wireless helical, which is even narrower, so it gets even deeper. So it's nice to have a little bit of a selection, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And then we have the RunCam camera. This is the Phoenix camera, and it's the Oscar edition. Oscar edition is actually for Oscar Lang. He does tons and tons of very awesome reviews and guides and blogs and all kinds of stuff everywhere. If you don't know who Oscar Lang is, you're probably living under a rock, so go check him out. So this is his edition of the Phoenix camera, and reading through his review of it, I mean, obviously since he helped develop it, he says it's going to be probably a biased opinion, but he was saying that the camera isn't so great in the low light, but is a really great performer in the daylight. So he did some tweaks or whatever to make it a really great daytime performer. So what I gather out of that is this is an awesome camera for, daytime. Don't try to do twilight or nighttime flying with this. Save that to cameras more geared towards low light situations. But overall, looked like a great camera. Specs looked awesome. Color looked cool. Looked like it's like a blue color. So I am excited to give this a whirl. And it's got a pretty hefty price tag to it too. I mean, it is RunCam brand, so that, comes along with having a higher price tag. So at $37.99, it boosted the value of this box pretty substantially. And then lastly, we have the quad box shirt. If I can get it up here. We got the quad box shirt, and I am a big fan of shirts in general, and I'm a big fan of the darker color shirts. And actually, last time when I unboxed a drone drop and I was wearing a quad box shirt, people were like, oh, that's kind of weird. You're opening a drone drop, but you're wearing a quad box shirt. Well, you know what? You want to fix that? Drone drop. Send me a drone drop shirt and I'll unbox a quad box while wearing a drone drop shirt. I don't care what shirt I wear. I actually kind of put them in a rotation. So I just kind of take one off, and then when I shoot my video, I move it to the end, and then I take the next one. So it just so happened that's how things roll out. And typically the newest shirt gets to be onto the next video. So the next video I shoot, I'll probably be wearing this one, but no guarantees. There is some pretty good value to be had here. Now, like I said, this is not killer stellar, knock it out of the park, but we're still decent. What I mean by that is my personal benchmark when I run these numbers and I look at it for the first time is I want to see about $20, $25 bonus for a subscriber price. That's where I think the average is, where you're definitely getting some good value. You're not getting ripped off. It's not amazing, but it's also not terrible. And as long as I get about $20 to $25, I'm A-okay. And you can see for the subscriber here, we're getting 28. Almost 20, we're basically getting $29 here. So we're actually a little smidge, just a little smidge over what I would say would be a pretty, normal average box that's a good average, not like average like, who cares, but just average like I got what I would want as good value, and that's why I continue to subscribe, because I'm getting this good value. And that's what I got here. So I would say this is a good box. So now comes a very unique time in history where we can compare three boxes. We have the drone drop, we have the quad box, and we have the FPV crate. All right, so bam. Changed the format up a little bit, and we'll go through this so I don't leave you out in the dust. So obviously we have drone drop, quad box, FPV crate listed there. That first column is what happened in 2018. Now, FPV crate didn't exist in 2018 at all, so that's why there's a NA, non-applicable marking there, because it wasn't there for the party. The green means that's who provided the greatest value. So for 2018, quad box was the leader. Then what I've been doing is I've been tracking since January of this year how we've been doing. And you can see drone drops actually kind of stepped up a little bit for 2019. They're currently in the lead. That's why they're in green. But quad box is not very far behind. They're starting to catch up a little bit. I feel like they fell a little bit behind. Now they're starting to catch up. And the FPV crate only had one box, just July. So they look like they're way behind in the rear, but they only had one box. So to kind of make things fair, so we can kind of see how things are going between all three boxes, I've made a new column starting at the July box. So if we look at the July column from July to July, and we compare the three offerings for July, you see drone drop actually had the worst value. Quad box came in second place, and then FPV crate way high in first place, which was expected, as I said, because it's an initial box. And when you have the initial box, you're probably going to make it really good to try to entice more people to subscribe. It's once the honeymoon period wears off and we start seeing what the true value is that we can expect box after box after box from FPV crate, that's when their true colors will shine. But essentially, I wanted to just make a level playing field to see how everyone's doing starting in July when all three boxes have a offering. And the last column, the totals. Who's given the most value over the period of time since I've started in February of 2018? And as you can see, that is quad box still reigning supreme champion overall across the board from when I started to today. So there's your comparison between them, and it is very interesting that Quadbox is maybe starting to be more on an upswing. Drone Drop maybe gave a lot of good value for a couple of months there, but now maybe they kind of ran out of steam and now they're falling behind. I don't know. I don't know what to expect in August. I'm going to tell you right now, though, August is going to be very, very exciting. I don't know anything about any of the boxes. However, it'll be interesting to see, does FPV Crate still provide amazing value, or is it going to kind of, you know, drift away a little bit? The honeymoon period's already over. What is Drone Drop and Quadbox going to offer? How does this all work into each other? I don't know, but it's really fun time, and I just have a blast opening these boxes. And I hope if you're a subscriber, you unbox these too and you have a blast, because I'm loving them. All right. So I hope to got you some good information. Hope that helped you out here if maybe you're deciding on subscribing to one of these. I got to say, this Quadbox, the last couple were pretty, but this one, I'm feeling like I'm being picked back up. You know, I'm not feeling all warm and fuzzy yet, but I feel like we're on a good upswing, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens in August. All right. So as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong.